Welcome back, Bubba McDaniel here to the program. Coming up here, and he had Liam McGeary come up in Bellator 185, but Liam got hurt. So now I got to ask, in some promotions, if that happened with, I guess we're about 10 days out, they might try to find you another opponent to make that coverage. What was there any chance of trying to find, was there another opponent found? Were they trying to find you another opponent, or was it just as soon as they called and said, fight's done, that's it?
They said there was look. They looked for a little bit. They tried to figure it out to see if it would be workable to get somebody in, and obviously we were trying to have a main card fight there, and it was a high profile fight to start with whenever we came into it. So they tried to keep something along those lines, but just couldn't make it work. So they scratched the fight.
So, obviously, it's feast or famine. You get paid when you fight, and you don't when you don't fight. So, what was there any conversation coming in from the Bellator side where they're like, okay, we'll give you your show money anyway, just because you're ready for the fight, or was it just when they scrapped it, that was it? You're like, I'm out of money.
Well, it's right now they're trying to work something out for me. They're trying to keep me on the on paper so that I can get something here pretty soon. Obviously, it's not going to be right now, and it's not, the spike card that I was looking forward to and things like that. But the way it works out, it might give me more time to be ready for another one, and, who knows what they'll come up with.
So let's take an honest assessment, or as honest as you're willing to let us have.
Okay.
Fight's off now, so you don't have to worry about it. But you always know I could have done this more. I should have done this less. I should have changed that thing because of now that the fight's off and I got time to really think about it. If they called me tomorrow and said, hey, you have 12 weeks to get ready for Liam now, what goes differently in this training camp versus the training camp you just had get ready for Liam?
I get to push harder. I get to push way harder during the fight, because at a certain point, you got to realize I still had a 3-week camp I was going into. Mm-hmm. Anything past that, I'd be retarded to say I was in my phenomenal fight shape. Right. And I do pride myself most of the time on being the guy that I go in there and I press guys and we stay at a high level the first round and everything. And then once I feel them start to fade, I push forward.
Right.
That was what I made a lot of money doing, is what I tell people. I made money breaking guys off of cardio and will at certain points just because I worked hard in camp. And because, like I say, there are guys that I beat that I shouldn't have. And there's guys, like I say, on the other side, too, though, that have beat me that I shouldn't have, been beat by. But like I say, the guys that I shouldn't have beat is what I always felt like I put in the extra work. I could feel their bodies breaking down a little bit, things like that. That was just one of those things. And that would be the point that I would be able to, drive home again for this fight if it was 12 weeks out again.
Are you a guy that does a lot of film prepping? You watch a lot of tape on your opponent, or are you a guy that just kind of lets your coaches do it and then just take care of yourself?
A little both. Both. I do enough to where I know what I'm looking at and what they're seeing also. Do a little conversations with them, watch it with them. But like I say, at the end of the day, I let them make the actual adjustments to what I'm going to do on things like that.
Was there really enough time? To me, 3 weeks sounds like it's not even enough time to get a real solid game plan together, because your coaches don't even know what you have to offer yet because of what shape are you in, what's your weight like, are we concentrating on just trying to get your diet, under control so you can make weight, are we concentrating just on you having a lot of reps just so we can get you in somewhat kind of a shape coming in? There's a lot of factors going into a game plan.
Right.
Do you feel like the coaches even had a long enough time to put one together for this fight?
The funny part is we felt like if I could get in good enough shape to get out there and fight my fight somewhat, like along the lines that I usually would fight, then it was actually a good fight for us, because there are things that I do that worked really well for what we saw on the holes that we picked out. And things that happen during his other fights, things are just, mental mistakes, little mental mistakes, like Tito's mental mistake, things like that. We just picked up on little things that happened, and just those were things that I was just trying to drive home to myself, like, I'm not going to make this mistake. I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to capitalize here. It was about being confident and overcoming at that point on and going out there and actually just not letting this guy come in there and be, how do I say this? Because everybody's got him as, he's just going to take you out. He's got your meat for his right hand, things like that. Mm-hmm. That wasn't the case in my head. So, like I say, it was I'm not ever going in somewhere to go, oh, I'm here to lose. How you doing?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I was just mentally preparing more than anything else and trying to physically get myself there. And, like I say, just the things that I was going to do, just make sure that I do them and keep my head straight.
Were you training at all for any kind of fight? Were you in the gym at all before you got the phone call, or were you just kind of like, I'm going to be out doing something else at this point?
The funny part is I had a fight scheduled for the end of July. So I trained then, but I basically quit training because that fight fell through also. And I started working again. I was doing sighting. I was doing basically odd jobs, figuring out what I could do. And like I said, when they called me, I had a mouthful of tater tots at a Sonic. So, it's just that's everybody. Everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I spit out a bunch of tater tots.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. And please tell me you had a slushie too.
I didn't have a slushie. I like the sweet tea with peach.
Okay, all right. I'll let you go. I'll let you go on that one. There, man, that's funny. But there's. I mean, I talked to a lot of guys that have that kind of story, but they're like, "Hey, don't tell anybody. I don't want to talk about it on camera." Because they want to have that illusion of, hey, I was training and I was in shape and I was ready to go and this whole bit. And you're like, no, man, I was doing side and eating tater tots. Like I was not ready for a fight at all. So
yeah,
now you've had 2 fights fall through. Obviously, one in July and then this one. Right. Obviously, it's frustrating and it hurts your bottom line. It hurts your dollar amount because you're not getting any money coming in. But you're also in a situation where you trained and took some time off, got that last minute phone call. Now you're like, are you going to stay in the gym a little bit? I know you got to work because you got to make money. I know you got to do some other stuff, but are you going to start staying in the gym a little bit?
The funny part is that's exactly what it's made me think. I was like, man, I got to stay in the gym. I've got to be there. I got to be ready for these opportunities. I've got to be more ready, I should say. Like, because obviously, like I say, they call me up something like that. I'm like, let's do it. Like I'm your guy. But at the same time, I've got to be more realistic upon what my training has been and what it needs to be again.
What was your weight like with those tater tots in your mouth and drinking that sweet tea?
The funny part is my weight wasn't real bad. I was only around 214, 215. Oh. The thing is, though, it's shaped really funny. it's yeah. We were working on changing that and shaping the body differently. That's for sure. I weigh around today. I woke up around 213. And the body has actually changed pretty fast. It's kind of crazy on how fast I got my body to look like it's halfway in shape again. So, but just trying to take care of it. I did everything I could, ate clean. And the body, I guess it just remembered what it needed to be like.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that. I was light, but the shape wasn't right. Like I'm just not in the right shape.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the belly came from here and it kind of moved up here,
Yeah. I know how that goes. Yeah. I've seen quite a few and been there a couple times myself, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do tomorrow? So what's tomorrow gonna entail for you then? You obviously the fight got called off on Monday. It's coming up. This is now Thursday, so Friday. It's your first week where you're like, oh crap, I don't have a fight now. What are you gonna do on Friday?
As of right now, I plan on going to see Coach Stephen Wright possibly in Dallas this weekend. But tomorrow is my daughter's birthday, so I'm actually going to go see her.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where my daughter's turning 13. She's my oldest, and I wasn't going to see her, but now I am. So that's always a big plus. She's pretty excited about it too that I'll be back. So that's a biggie.
How far away does your daughter live from you?
Usually in Wichita Falls, we're right in the same town.
Okay.
Right now, I'm still in Midland.
You still are in Midland? Okay.
Yeah, I was. We're still trying to get everything mowed down and finish some physicals. Medical work, things like that. That way, something else does pop up, we don't have to rush still. So we're trying to game plan for the future right now.
Good. Okay, that's smart. You're kind of getting there now. There, if Bellator gave you a call and said, "Hey, look." Give us your top 3 opponents that you would like to face. Not saying that you're trash talking, you're not calling anybody out, but that you're in a position where you're like, okay, well, I got to get a fight in. I would like to get a fight in, and this fight interests me. There's a lot of that going on. You don't have to hate the guy. You don't have to be mad at the guy. You don't have to call anybody out. But is there anybody that you thought that's on Bellator's roster besides Liam that you'd be like, hey, look, I'd really like to fight this guy to kind of get myself together?
Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's a real crazy little thing out there. Justin Wren's a heavyweight guy. I would fight just because it's a styles matchup there.
Yeah.
Me and him, we've been in the same gym at Team Takedown when he was training with Stephen Wright and Mark Lehman and all that. We were there together at the same times or anything. It's nothing crazy against anything like that. It's just like I say, that's a good matchup for me. I feel like even if it is a heavyweight matchup, it's just like I say, I fight funny.
Yeah.
So, but Liam, I feel like Liam's a good fight for me. I know. Like I say, everybody thinks it was bad, this, that, and the other. I thought it was a good fight. Heck, other than that, I'll tell you like this. I'll throw this one out there just to give the dude a shout out. A guy named Mike Rhodes. He just lost to Lovato and everything, but he was the first one that hit me up on Twitter and was like, hey, I'll jump in and fight you. So I've got to give a dude like that some credit and say, hey, man, he wants to fight. Let's fight. You know what I mean?
And stylistically, though, the Rhodes fight is not as good as the Ren fight. Obviously, the Ren fight is way better. It's stylistically speaking, it's a way better, more from a fan standpoint. It's a better fight. But the Rhodes fight for you is a better fight. Less damage taken, more damage given. So it's I do like those two matchups. Bellator's got a roster that they can actually put you in a lot of different spots. I'm kind of surprised they weren't able to find somebody on last minute or weren't able to find somebody willing.
Another one that I honestly was going to throw out there after this fight with Liam though was that if I did well, I went out there and did something well and everything. I was going to say let's do a tough show, because Chael was my the opposite coach of the team when I was in the house. Yeah,
and Chael now. I got to be honest. Chael's not in his prime. Love him to death. Love his podcast. Like I pay attention to You're Welcome all the time. Like I really like his style, but he's just not in his prime anymore. And I kind of get the feeling that sometimes he just calls the fight in, which gives you the opportunity to be able to beat him. That fight is another high profile fight. Obviously, with anything with Chael Sonnen is going to be a main event, co-main event. So it puts you back on that same slot as you did with Liam.
Right.
And it's a money fight. Like you can make some extra money on that one because it's Chael Sonnen.
Right. And the thing is, too, I have nothing bad to say about Chael ever.
Yeah.
A lot of people say things here and there, but like you said, his podcast is great.
Yeah.
The dude in person is great. And he's hilarious when it comes to fight promos and things like that.
Yeah.
So I just see it as a win-win. That would have been awesome. But like I say, that was coming upon something going with it. So you know how that goes.
Yeah, no. Now you're kind of back you got stuck at square one again. So
yeah, exactly.
That's all right. Well, Bubba, thanks so much for coming on here. I appreciate it. Being so candid with us, talking about what happens next after a fight gets pulled. Good luck, man. We'll definitely talk as soon as your next fight gets signed. We'll talk again.
Heck yeah. Give me a holler.
I will. Talk to you later, bud.
Later, man.